What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Badcast, yet another episode. Leo tuko wawili, no guests. Topics tunaongea ni vitu za nyumba. I would say that. But yeah, glad you guys are watching. Glad for those who are listening in. Thank you for listening in. And if you haven't subscribed and you're still watching our episodes, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also on, what's the podcast? The podcast is Spotify.
What?
Spotify. That's bad. That's bad. Spotify. Please follow us. If you prefer watching, well and good. If you prefer listening in, please subscribe on Spotify. We're also on Spotify. Yeah, and Saudi is taking lead today.
Yes.
Maybe you can talk about what the topic is.
Yes, our topic. I have even
Umesahau.
forgotten
It was very feminine. Very feminine.
Have I just forgotten?
I don't
Menstral
know why.
health.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So it's. I mean, this morning when I was thinking about it, I was like, yeah, I think this is a topic that we should be able to discuss. I mean, about periods, how you found out, when did you even start? Because I think this generation guys are starting at a pretty young age.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So how did you learn about periods? Uliambiwa? Was it in school?
Kaifafa. First of all, I'm those people who was excited about womanhood and getting to be part of it. Mimi sikuwa nataka kuwa left out sana. Yeah. So every time, first of all, that was in primary school. Mm-hmm. So there's this group, this group of people usually come to school and talks to the girls peke yake.
They used to do, was it with always pads?
Yes, with always pads, yes. Yeah. So tunapelekwa kwa dining hall, mademu wote peke yake. Because I was in boarding mixed. So tunapelekwa mademu wote kwa dining hall peke yake. Alafu tunaonyeshwa venye mtu anavaa pad, inaenda aje, inakaa aje. Na hiyo time, hakukuwa na wings hiyo time.
Remember humongous. Those things are so humongous. Yeah.
Big.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And after we were taught, I wanted to feel like I'm part of that group of people wearing always pads.
You're now a woman.
I was so young, man. No, wearing the pads. Not the womanhood. Not the womanhood at that time. I just wanted to wear the pads and feel how it feels like. So your time sees zile samples zilikuwa zinakuja mbili kwa pack. Yeah. And we were all given one. And we kept them in our dorms, and anyone, of course, who had already the periods, they walikuwa nazitumia and all. Yeah. So me I could just see people in class 7, tayari mtu ako na periods. Mimi bado sina.
Did you even understand what it was? Because I think was it in class?
We were already taught in class 5.
Was it in class 5 or 6?
Yeah. We already taught about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess by the time nafika class 7, na bado sijaanza kupata periods, you get worried. Because there was a specific rumor about infertility.
Oh.
Like if you don't get it by this
time,
if
you don't get your periods,
you'll never become a mother.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, no, I want to be a mother, So I really wanted to, I don't want to be left out, like I said. I really wanted to be a woman. I wanted to be a mother. But at that time, I just wanted to feel how it feels like to wear pads.
So it was about wearing
it was about wearing pads. So the first time it came, of course, I knew the signs and what to look out for. Yeah. I was happy. I was very, very, very happy. Very happy. I think it happened when I was at home. So I was lucky.
Yeah. Your first time must be it's crazy.
Yeah. Because, of course, in happy shule, I would have had to talk to the mati, see how I can be able to get the pads and all.
Started in school, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and me, when I was taught about being clean, I took it seriously. I took that shit seriously. I was like, yeah, I'm a woman, mom. I've been waiting for this.
I actually didn't.
Yeah.
The first time I heard about periods, I think I was in class 4 because I hadn't learnt about periods yet.
Yeah.
So there's a place in Meru, those sites for Maua, where I get my leg braces done.
Yes.
So it's run by Italians. So it's a school. It's like a rehabilitation center for kids with disability.
Yeah.
And then they also have like a workshop where
Yeah.
they fix, crutches, braces, wheelchairs, stuff like that. So every other school term, during holidays, I'll go there.
Yeah.
So I'd spend like 3 days in that place to get my braces fixed. So one of the girls who I think I was the closest to, but she was older than I was, one time, it was just in the evening, and then she mentioned, I think one of them was on their periods or whatever. Then she mentioned, she's like, one time when you're siju what age, you're going to bleed. You will bleed. That was it. So in my head, I always knew there's a time in my life I'm going to bleed. But then I think also how she said it, I knew it was bad. Like I'm going to really, like I'm going to die bleeding, like a lot of blood.
Yeah.
So funny thing is, my sister starts before me. So one time she comes to my room and she's like, I'm bleeding.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? What's wrong with you? Then she's like, I'm bleeding down there. I'm like, you're bleeding? She's like, yeah. Down there? Like, yeah. I'm like, you need to go sit in the toilet. Like, go sit in the toilet because you're going to bleed. You are going to bleed. Like, that's what I told my younger sister. So my poor sis went
and sat.
Yeah, at
How
some
long
point.
did she take in the toilet?
I think she sat there for quite some time. Then she realized this is not working.
Yeah.
So she went to tell my mom about it. So that was the first time now in my mind. So my mom called us. My mom had this book. My God, it was called Where There Are No Doctors. Hey, I'm telling you, the diagrams in that book. It was just like, it was a book about, like, if you lived in the village, there's no doctor, first aid, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where I remember my mom now showing us those things. But by the time she was showing us that, we were taught in school. The diagram, like there used to be that diagram.
Yeah.
So I had the diagram in my head, but I didn't pay too much attention. So when now my mom sat us down now to like talk about, she's like, so do you know what periods are? I'm like, yeah. She's like, what is it? I'm like, it's when, now you know the diagram is in your head. So you're drawing, it's like, it's when that egg goes, it's there, it stays for some time, then comes down, if nothing happens, and then you bleed. My mom's like, what's even, like, what are you even talking about? I'm like, yeah, so that's periods, and then you bleed. It's like, okay, so when you're saying the egg stays there, nothing happens, what do you mean? I'm like, it's just when, nothing happens. You know what I'm talking about? My mom's like, no, I don't know. Because my mom liked you being specific about it.
What did you mean when you're saying nothing happens in your
mind? It doesn't
mind?
get fertilized. See,
were you talking about sex?
No, like when you get your period. Yes.
I assume...
Yes, like if you don't have sex, gets fertilized, then you bleed. So my mom wanted me to say exactly that. But I couldn't say. I was like, you can't say sex. Like, sex is a bad word.
Okay.
So my mom's like, yeah, when, I'm like, when, married people, that thing, when they do, like for me, like, sex is for married people, so you can't. So my mom's like, say sex. I'm like, I can't say sex. Like, why am I saying? My mom's like, it's not a bad thing. Like, if you don't have sex and there's no fertilization that takes place, that's when you bleed. Now, those pads, my God, I think for me it was also hard because those pads were just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, they were like this.
They were this big. Let me tell you, should you ever give birth, those are the kind of sizes of pads that you're given for maternity. But go on.
Maybe I use tampons.
No, you can't.
I know, like you can't. Oh my God. So, but then I never knew about tampons.
Yeah.
So
that came later.
Tampons
that
came
time
much.
there wasn't really.
No.
There was only pads. So
yeah, the only
tampons
pads
came later.
I used to put like 2 pads like this.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. And then I used to wear like
also short. They were not that.
They were not that long, but they were thick.
Yes, but
they were thick. Yeah. So I used to wear. Where they struggled. So I would wear like, those panties that have elastic huku kwa mguu.
Yeah.
So I'd wear that, and then I'll wear like tights under. And then I used to be allowed to wear like trousers or what are they called? Like sweatpants.
Yes.
So I'd wear that and then my tunic for school. Like when I'm I would wear so many things.
Why were you so uncomfortable, or is it just the flow that was just messy for you?
I think I was just uncomfortable. Plus, with me, me, I keep moving about.
Yeah.
So it's very easy for me to mess on myself.
Yeah.
So we used to tie. Remember they used to tie the sweater?
Yes.
And the teacher's like, I do not want to see.
Such an uncomfortable tie when you're young.
Yeah, like it was just like it wasn't something that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And then my mom, she had this book, like a diary, like not even a diary, like I mean everyday things to do and whatever. Where alikuwa hapo anatufunza calculate 28 days. So in that book of hers, you'll just see maybe on the 16th of March in red. Then it's S for Sauda, then P for periods. Oh, God. Like if you went to her table, you'd see it. Everyone would know this is the time Sauda is going to be on her period. So even swimming, everything would, like my mom would plan around that.
Yeah.
So she's like, on this weekend, because Sauda this week will be on her period, so we can't go.
Did you pick
swimming.
up the habit?
Did I do what?
Pick up the habit.
Oh yeah, I count mine. Like I need to know when. Like I even have the app.
Yeah.
I have the app on my phone. Because now I've learned like the symptoms. Like there are those two feelings you do get and whatever. But then I also used to have very bad cramps. So I would miss like a day of school. Because primary I was a day scholar.
Yeah.
But then now when I went to high school, my flows were heavy for some reason. And I remember there's a time in Form 2, I would have my periods twice a month.
Yeah.
Then it's heavy. The first time it happened, like I remember even walking was a problem. I was so weak. Like I'm just pale. Like guys are like, are you okay? But then I was like, maybe it's just a one-time kind of thing. Then the next month it happens. Ooh, I just went to the secretary. I'm like, please call my mom. I think I'm dying. I did. So I was given some to tablets.
Yeah.
I think they were for family planning or something. And the guy now there was a man. So my mom's like, tell him what's going on. I'm like, you tell him. Like, because for us at that, I think time talking to a man about these things was just like it was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Then his son and I knew each other.
Ooh.
I was like, and then I used to have a crush on him in primary. So I'm like, shoot, he's going to tell him everything. He's going to tell him Sauda is on a period, Sauda is this. So I was like, no. But my mom no one knew I had like a crush on him. I was like, But then after some time, it stopped. Like the 2 months, whatever thing. Yeah.
Okay. I remember in primary school, there was this time after those pads we've been given and all. So, of course, I felt FOMO.
Yeah.
I had FOMO at that time.
You're
know
weird.
I know I'm weird. Yeah. I think when I was young, there just used to be a lot of peer pressure. Even to my youth and just growing up as an adult. Until at some point in my life when I was like... you need to do your own make your own decisions and don't let others affect the choices that you make. So I used to have that peer pressure of doing things. Siku moja nimeokoka, siku hiyo ingine na wase wengi wanaenda dunda naenda nao alafu naomba nisamehewe then I'm back again.
Tell me.
It happens a lot. It has happened a lot.
Tell me to tell you a story.
So this day I was like, this thing is not coming. So let me just do this. Let me try it out. So I took the pad, nikaiva. I don't know who noticed, my friends or something. There was just this chick who's just coming to touch my butt. And then they're like, so naona, si nimekwambia, ameiva. I was like, but she's not in her periods. I felt so embarrassed. I know. I felt so embarrassed, but I was just trying to feel how it felt like, how it feels like. or maybe what to expect. Yeah, after that, it was just one pad. So I was like, nah, I will not do this again. Let me just wait patiently.
Yeah.
So my mom just told me it's going to come. So I was just patient, I guess. I just kept on living my life and just.
So when it came, you knew what to do,
Yeah, when it came now, I was prepared. What I was not prepared for is the pain. What I was not prepared for is the pain, I guess, which nobody's ever prepared.
You never prepared.
Yeah, but at that time it wasn't too much. I guess after
it progresses.
Yeah, after some time, of course, in high school and all that, that's when now you get to feel that pain. And
that
all.
Myth of this pain will go on until you give birth.
That's true. That's true. Though.
So when you give birth,
I think it's the contraction, no? It's the contraction.
So
after you've given birth, you want to get a baby now?
No. I remember one time
we sought you guys. Applications, please.
Oh wow. I remember there's a time I was in so much pain. I just told my mom, I just need everything removed. Like remove everything. Like, can you remove? My mom's like, don't say that. I'm like, okay, is there a way? Is there a test? Is there something I can do so that I know if I can have babies or not? Like, what's the point of doing all this? And then one day I find out I can't have babies. Like, just remove.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, just remove every single thing, you know? Anyway, I remember the way you were talking about the ladies who used to advertise pads and whatever. So there was this supermarket.
Those girls that were dancing like this in class, Yani. You know the way they look so cool. Then they have short skirts and then they're dancing.
I know, on TV, I'm like, that's a lie.
And then that time I used to dance a lot. So I'd see them shake. And then most of it, because it's a pad, the advert, there's like shaking their ass in class. And they're like,
I'm like that. Like let me tell you, every time I see those, I'm just like, that's a lie. Who has energy when your period like that?
And which class teacher will allow you to do that in class?
I'm like, that.
Nobody ever thought about that.
That's a lie. I'm like, who has energy? Like, I just want to sleep. Do you know, as I've grown older, when I'm about to have my periods, I'm sleepy all the time. Like, I just want to sleep. Like, I'm just sleepy.
Yeah.
I will have my 8-9 hours of sleep, but I still want to sleep. Like, I'm just, my mood, I have balancing tears.
Yeah.
Anything can just... I'm telling you, I can just watch a simple video, like a simple whatever.
Even a cat stuck on the fence.
I'm telling you, my tears are just right. There, like it's just whatever. Anyway, so those ladies who used to advertise at the supermarket. So we used to go shopping every Saturday. Then my bro is down, we used to like pushing the carts. My bro then used to look like a girl, and then I'm the one who used to look like the boy.
Abdi?
Yeah.
Okay.
So every time we'd go anywhere, guys will be like, they'll look at my sis and my bro. They're like, hi, ladies. And then look at me. It's like, hi, gentleman. My mom's like, she's lady, that gentleman. So every time we'll pass that, the place where they have the pads.
Yeah.
Those ladies used to talk to my bro, then they tell him, this is the better part. My bro is just listening to what they're saying.
He opens his mouth to speak.
He doesn't say anything. He hadn't broken his voice yet. Like, he broke his voice in form 2, guy. And he called home, and I picked up the phone, and he's like, tell mommy I'm coming home. I'm like, who is this? He's like, stupid, it's your brother. I'm like, that's not my brother's voice. He's like, you just tell mommy I'm coming home. I'm like, no, I'm not telling you. That's not my brother, Kappa. That's when my bro came home. Where? There was nothing I wasn't. I was like, I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, that's my son right now. Yours is in Form 2, mine is in 7.
And then you know how he'll punish me? He's like, that squeaky voice, like, tone it down. That's how he used to tell me now, because I made fun of his whatever voice. Anyway, so my bro will go, he'll be told about pads, he's there listening, and then he'll just come, he's like, you guys are told such things. Like, that's what you're told, and then you go buy. I'm just like, have you bought? What have they told you? Then the ladies will be told now by the guys, because you used to always go to that that supermarket.
Yeah.
That's a boy. The ladies will be so embarrassed about it. Like, but the thing was, my mom used to like she would talk to also my brother about it.
Oh.
Yeah. So my brother was very aware when we were on our periods, so he would be very nice.
Was that your white adopted mom?
Yes. So even when my bro was breaking his voice, it was the same thing. Like, we would laugh. Then my mom's like, no, the same way. So he knows about you having periods and whatever. He can't laugh at you or do anything like that.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, in primary they used to sit like a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
Or if it's the 3 desk, like it's a boy, a girl in the middle, or the other way around. So there was a girl seated in the middle, and then my bro on this side, and another guy on this side. And then the way you answer questions, you stand up.
Yeah.
So when the girl stood up, my bro notices she's messed herself.
Okay.
So my bro writes a note. You know the way you just write a note and then you just slide. So the girl read the note, like to sit down because she's messed herself. And then my bro answered the question.
Yeah. Aww.
So later now during break, she comes and tells me, oh my God. Anyway, every girl used to have a crush on my brother for some reason. I don't know why. And they're like, oh my God, your brother, he's so sweet. Imagine he didn't laugh at me. I'm like, what did he do? They're sisters. And, I'm like, oh. She's like, no, he just wrote for me a note and told me to sit down because I'd messed myself. Like, she felt so nice. Like, they didn't make fun of her or anything like that, which was just... Yeah, but...
me, I didn't even have periods and people were just making fun of me in class for wearing a pad.
But I wish, like, I don't know if it would have been better, but that whole way you separate the boys and the girls, like, I felt like at some point it should have been collective, like the teaching, so that boys are also aware.
Not in our setup. You see, your mom was foreign and she had this setup of where she could like sit you guys down and just tell you, and I love the way your mom was just like frank and open to you guys with so much, like the way your mom has raised you. I really like it, so if can I ask you, did you have, when he was having the sex talk with your brother, were you there?
No, he had my mom would get a guy to talk to my bro about it. But then at the same time, we'll also... Like, my mom was very... Like, my mom would put a movie because she knew there's a conversation that was coming.
Okay.
You get? Like, she'd make us read something and then later...
Yeah. I would think for us, it's just the African setup where if you don't want
I meant in school.
Yeah, still.
I don't know.
Where you get the kids... Because the boys is already covered, you're already learning it in class. So it's part of your curriculum. So you have to learn about these things. You get? Yeah. So if you already taught about this in class, because that's home science or that's science or something of the sort, then it's up for the girls to be sat down and
to be taught
specifically. Yeah. Because circumcision, you don't see girls going and
let me tell you,
the same conversation because that's curious. They're becoming men. Yeah, but then we are taught about it in class.
Yeah, but you're just told this is
what happens, but not the the small details about it. You see?
Yeah. I mean, I was always like, so
is becoming a woman.
I remember asking him, so what were you told? It's like, no, it's I'm like, what's the secret? Like, what are you hiding? Tell me what it is.
Yeah.
Like, but they'll keep it like it's such. I'm like, I don't. But my mom would always get like a guy, like she had like male friends who will talk to my brother. Then there's someone who my sis could talk to. There's someone else I personally could, because there's some things you really can't talk to your mom about. So that's now like pads. I use pads through mpaka yo ya wings.
Yeah.
Whew, pads were just until the day I discovered tampons, and it was by accident. I started my P's and I wasn't aware, and the only thing that was available was a tampon.
The tampon. First time experience was comfortable.
Let me tell you, and it's that thing of if you use a tampon, you'll lose your virginity. I was like, shoot! Now the world will know
that you're no longer a virgin.
how do I prove? And then the virginity, that thing was like,
save it.
Save it, like until by then I was going all the way, like that was, but it wasn't that it was because it was important or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just something my mom had said that, I kept it in my head. So, so I'm being told try. Huh?
Go ahead.
So I'm being told try. I'm just like, it's not entering. And imagine.
Marcus, does that sound familiar?
It's
not entering.
I'm like, this thing is not. Relax. I'm relaxed.
Marcus, again. Relax.
It's like breathe, like just sit still, whatever. I'm like, I don't get this thing. Like, I just don't get it. So that was the first experience.
I'm sorry. That doesn't sound like a girl conversation.
It's so bad. In my mind I was like, God, if there's anyone else in this toilet, in this bathroom, they're thinking, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I managed, and from then on, of course, the first two. So I went and read on it, and I was like, just try it on your second on the second day of your period, because your flow is slightly heavier and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's how I started tampons. And it was the best for me.
For you.
For me, yes. So
I don't think it's for everyone.
I don't think so.
Personally, I don't. I get infected.
You get infections?
Yeah, I get infections using tampons. So I just prefer just using the pads. Yeah. As women, we have so many issues. I know.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we hear your first time?
Which one?
Maybe pull the mic. Oh, sorry. Not the Marcus kind of first time.
The Marcus kind of first time.
The relax.
Okay, so I'm Prudence. I'm on this other side of the production. My first time having my periods, I think I was in class 6. Because 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that time we had been taught in class 5 about now those meetings.
Yeah.
People came to school, then we were taken to the hall and told about the periods. I was very jumpy when I was in primary.
Yeah.
I was a tomboy. So in my head, it wasn't a big deal. I wasn't looking forward to it. It was just it will come and life will go on. So I remember that specific day. We used to wake up I have 2 brothers.
Yeah.
At that time I was the only girl. So we used to wake up in the morning, preparing to go to school. So we used to walk, I don't know why, but we used to walk in a line, just going to brush your teeth. Because that time it's very early in the morning. I've not even opened my eyes that time. So my brothers, they're leading the way, me niko nyuma. Walking with my night dress, we went and brushed our teeth. The same line, went and picked our uniform.
This is your house?
Yeah.
You're walking in a line in your own house?
Yeah.
No, kids, you're half asleep. So you're just...
Yeah, so we were taking turns every day, walking there, so that we can sleep while we were walking. So the one who's in front,
Wait,
the one who's awake. The one who's in front is the one who's awake. So it's like tulikuwa tunashikana hadi kwa shati nyuma.
That's so organized.
Let me ask, were you taking turns on who's sleepwalking first?
Yes. Every day. So thank God that day I was the one who's at the back of the line. So my auntie saw me, because that time I wasn't living with my parents, so we were living with my auntie. So my auntie saw me and she called me. Then she told me, "Ibongelea nguo yako." Then I turned. It was in the morning. I looked at my dress and I saw like a pool of blood. So I was so shocked. She told me, "Sasa, go and take that pad. Yuko hapo juu kwa meza yangu." So I went and took it. It was an always pad.
Yeah.
And to me, always pads are really big for me personally.
Yeah.
So she asked me, "Umefunzwa shule kuweka hii kitu?" So I'm like, "Yes." Then she showed me, like, quickly. She told me, "Go and shower, then you put on that panty.
And that was it.
So the whole day I was having cramps. I went to school and it was on a games day, and I used to play football. So that day I wasn't playing. I didn't have appetite, and we were eating smokies that day in school.
Oof.
So I gave out my smoky, and my best friend asked me if I was okay.
And then you can't tell anyone what's going on.
I couldn't tell anyone. But I think after 1 month, I used to even forget sometimes when I'm on my periods. So my best friend she was very organized and collected. Well, I was just the opposite. She used to tell me, go and change your pad. It's
2 hours.
Yeah. So I think my first time wasn't like bad.
Let me ask you, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
How many times did you change your pad?
The first time.
Yes.
Every other time.
How many times? How many pads did you use in a day?
Oh my God.
I think we were just paranoid. I think I used to change like in 3 hours. 3 hours I'm changing a pad. 3 hours I'm changing. And
so you might have used like 3 packs.
Yeah, you keep on looking at yourself. Oh my mess.
You even tell your friend, I'm going to stand, you check for me.
Yeah, so I think, as girls, we just...
You have problems.
Being a woman.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because if you like are jumpy like a boy and you have to go through the same exact thing other girls are going through. It's crazy.
Month after month.
Grace.
Yeah, like Grace.
Grace has interesting stories for first time.
My first time. I was home alone with my dad.
Oh,
yeah.
So, nimeamka saa 3 asubuhi. I'm like, yeah, things are thick. So I go to my dad's room. Like, sasa dad. Okay, sorry. Fit. Yeah. So now, first of all, my dad is wondering, why am I up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning?
Yeah.
What's wrong with this child? Because he was okay. Aya. Go back to my room. I'm like, okay, now I need to go back and tell daddy, things are thick. I go again. Daddy, yaje? Unaenda job leo? He's like, ni Saturday siendi kazi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I go back. So by this time, he's like, okay, there's something wrong with this child. Na hajui venye ataniambia kuna kitu mbaya. So now he's sat up on the bed. I'm like, So I used to call my dad Afande. Afande. Sasa.
Alikuwa askari?
Yeah. I was like, Afande. He's like, nilikuwa nataka, nilikuwa nakuomba ile trawe yako. Looked at me, trouser yangu. He's like, well. So he's like, and then when I walked out, I didn't walk out like turn and then walk out. I backed out. So I guess in his head, he kind of like put 1 and 2 together. So the next time I went to say, Sasa dad, he's like, unaona ile drop pale? Hapo juu, kenye unatafuta iko hapo. Nikamwambia, okay, sawa. And then he walked out of the room. So I went, I opened the drawer. My mom had put pads. So I took the pads.
Lucky mothers.
Then, so now when I was walking out, so now he's at the door. So he's waiting for me to walk out. He's like, oh yeah. And Sasa, so don't walk. Like, I was like, I went, I showered. I came back to the room. He'd removed the sheets.
Oh.
Didn't need them. He put them candle. And he'd made the bed again. And he's like, I was like, okay. So then I showered, I dressed, I put on my kapad nicely. Sat down. So he's like, come. Can I come in? I'm like, yeah. He'd come he'd gone to karanga, kidneys and skuma and a glass of milk. He's like, I was told you need to eat. Because you're going to lose a lot of things.
You're going to lose a lot of things.
I know. You have to eat spinach.
You have blood supplements.
Blood supplements. And then he's like, has your mother and your sister talked to you about these things? He's like, I don't feel embarrassed. You know now. Things will start happening to your bodies. Now I have to buy a gun, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. I don't want to talk about this with you.
Yeah.
So, but the way I see your mother do it,
Yes.
she does nini. So now he's telling me how to put on a pad on the panty.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you do it every. I think she does it every like 1 or 2 hours. Miss lakini mtaongea na yake come. Yeah. So but yuko sawa, uko fit, fresh, don't feel embarrassed. It's very natural. Sijui nini. I'm like, wait, afande. It's okay.
It's all right.
He goes down. My mom comes home, so he tells her.
Yeah.
So my mom is like, asikia babako amekuambia maneno leo. Uko sawa? Like you're sure? I was not going to talk to either my parents. I was waiting for my sister to come home.
Yeah.
So when my sister came home from school, I was like, let me tell you what happened to me, dear sister. She laughed at me.
Yeah.
But then again, now she was like, okay, now you know. Outside all the drama, this is what happens. You'll get cramps. But yeah, so my first time was really weird, but it was fun. Yeah.
I don't think my dad was ever involved at all. For me, never involved. Of course, maybe my mom would have probably told him so that he kind of keeps away. But he was never involved. But from what I feel like our parents have all, in one way or another, been involved in trying to just make sure that we are okay. Yeah. So I wish I had a single dad with a daughter just to tell us your experience. I would love to hear what happened to your experience. It's something that I would really love to share with you guys to just understand how a single
dad.
Yeah. How did you handle it with your daughter and how did it go on? How did you... Mlikuwa umepangiana pads kwa kabati mahali kama Grace. Yeah, that would have been interesting. You wanted to tell me something.
No, let me tell you. I remember every time, once I started my periods and guests will come home, like I was always the last one to come and say hi.
Yeah.
Like my mom had to call me and, convince me to come, and I was busy reading some Nancy Drew. I was solving cases, man. Like I was busy.
This is where your love for crime has come from. This chick will watch things about crime.
I watch documentaries.
Yeah.
God. So I was always busy. And I can just say, like, so die, come say hi to the guest. I'm like, Nancy Drew is about to solve a case. Who is a guest? Like, why are you telling me about a guest? Like, I'm about to solve a case.
Yes.
And then I'll go say hi, Then my mom's like, tell them how you performed in school. I'm like, yo, is that necessary? Whatever.
Yeah.
Then my mom's like, oh, she's been shy. She started her periods. I'm like, mommy, that is unnecessary. Like, why are you telling people about my business? And it was so weird because the man was like, oh, that's okay. Nothing to be embarrassed about. And I'm looking at my mom's like, every time new guests, tell them, oh, she's a big girl now. She started her. I'm like... woman, like leave me alone. But then it's so interesting. We feel, even as women, we feel embarrassed about the whole situation. I remember there's a time I was holding a pad. You know the way you go you're at work and you're in the ladies. There are no gents and you're holding the pad, waiting to go in. And someone's like, "Hey, why are you holding your pad like that?"
No, that's okay.
I'm like, why? See, I'm on my period. Like, what's... You get? And slowly, I stopped being embarrassed about it. And then I used to also... Like, for me, smell... is a trigger for my cramps. Like, my senses at 100.
Yeah.
I can smell things that people cannot smell. I'm like, what is that? Guys are like, where? What? I was like, there is something... there's something smelling.
So, can you smell something fishy?
Fishy is strong. There's a time at work, like it's just, and I had to go to the clinic, and I'm trying to tell the nurse there, I'm like, dude, I was sweating and everything, like I'm just feeling bad, like I'm about to throw up. There was even a time I was with a customer, and I just told the managers, like, I'm going to be sick. And when you tell people I'm going to be sick, instead of saying I'm going to throw up or I'm going to vomit or whatever, I'm telling you, the manager was like, just go.
Yeah.
I just took a step and everything. Blah. So for me, smell is that one thing I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
Thank God I work from home now. Like the whole,
Yeah.
And then it's very interesting how we are taught to be embarrassed about it. My bro would go and buy pads for me. He has no problem. But when I moved in with my other side of the family, I remember there's a time, because we used to live on a farm in Kitale. I told one of my twin brothers, could you get me pads? Because they were going to town and I wasn't going. So they're like, huh? I'm like, just get me pads, always pads, these ones. Pako na mwonyesha photo, just get for me 2 packs. They're looking at you like, oh, okay. Do you know they went and then they came back and they had no pads? I'm like, where are my pads? They're like, I'm like, you forgot what happens? Like, wow, I figured there then. Like, how do you ask someone, like, I want pads?
Why do you think people are so embarrassed about buying
I don't know.
pads in public?
I don't. Paka, they're wrapped. Like it's wrapped in a.
Or men technically.
Yeah.
Probably the same reason why you can't imagine that your parents gave birth to you. Me, if you ask
I
me,
know.
give me the local supermarket because I cannot fathom the thought of my mother and my father. I'm like, the supermarket. Yeah. But I guess it's just how it's conditioning. Because the weirdest thing for me is if I tell Simon to go buy a pad for me, he'll be so.
Okay.
No, he'll be like, Mom, why?
Yeah.
But the sister tells him that the cousin go.
He will.
Kwanza nelaga hapo kwanza nasema so she uses this one and not that one. That is now feeling weird because he's not being polite about it. He's like, no.
This one.
How do you know? It's because siapo imeandikwa sijui super wings with light
It's that one.
But if I tell him, he'll be like, okay, Mom.
Yeah. Marcus, have you ever dated a chick where she requested that you buy them sanitary towels or a tampon or maybe tampon would be too tough for you. It's just like sanitary pads.
Okay, so actually what she said about conditioning and also exposure has to play a part.
Yes.
Because if you find that if you're not told these things at a young age, even for us men, when it reaches a certain age and you have to do these things for either your girlfriend, your daughter, they tend to feel weird. It's just like the same as buying condoms.
I actually wanted to say the same thing.
That one.
How Soda said when you go buy pads, especially for us dudes, they tend to wrap it.
Shit is totally wrapped.
So even condoms, when you go buy condoms, it's wrapped. So it just goes back to being exposed. And also how people have been conditioned. So it's not really. I just think anything that has to do with private parts, what do you feel weird?
Yeah, imagine. I just
like that analogy.
Yeah,
private parts.
But you see, that's the thing I was saying. I wish, yes, in class you're taught biology and all these things, but you see, we are separated as well. You get, boys are taught this, girls are taught this. But then, if boys were also taught, this is a natural thing.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
So my bro knew it, my bro used to be so nice to us when we used to be on our periods. Of course, utalipa baadaye. It wasn't for free. But you see, for him, he was very aware of it. But you see, this thing where you're separated in class, girls are taught about pads, whatever. So when a guy now you're dating, how do you even... your girlfriend is like, oh, I've started my periods. You get. I've had, in my own house, if you go to my bathroom, I have my pads and tampons and everything right there. So when a guy comes in, I've had friends who ask him, guy, you're leaving your things here. I'm like, yes, it's my bathroom, it's my toilet, you get. Because for them, these things should be hidden.
Yeah.
I'm like, but you date, don't you know?
I don't think at this age we should not be really having people telling us how to live with this. Unless if it's a household where you have you're using one common bathroom and one common toilet, then you have to put your stash, just keep them
somewhere, whatever.
Exactly.
Yes, yeah.
But if I'm living in my own house and you're a man who's coming to my house, I will do what
you
I
do
want.
what you
it's
got
my
to
space.
do.
And if we are living together, it's still something that I really want to do, unless it's something that will also for my kids, and then it's a one common bathroom. Or
yeah,
children.
the kids would start.
That's
whatever.
different. But I don't. It's not something to be uncomfortable about.
Yeah,
I would easily flash a pad in front of a man, one of my friends, a male guy, and it should understand that is very normal.
Yeah,
it's natural.
Yeah, I remember like at I get ticked off. I used to really get ticked off.
Yeah.
When I'll be just about to start my period or when I'm on my period.
Yeah.
I remember even in high school, because most of our teachers, like not most, but then our mathematics teacher, our physics teacher, they were male. Mm-hmm. And I remember I would just sneer. Like when I'm on my period, like I couldn't even look at them. I was like, do you even know what I'm going through? Like, do you even understand? Like, why are you mumbling? Like, what is wrong with, like, I couldn't stand men during that time. Yeah. And I remember there's a time I was just walking the corridors or whatever, and apparently I sneered at one of the male teachers. Mm-hmm. My mom was called. And the headmistress was like, I don't know what happened. Like, that is very unlike Sauda. Like, she would not do... My mom just looked at me and was like, are you on your periods? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh yeah, when she's on her periods or whatever, like I snap. Mm. So even at work, where there's where I work now, we are very many. I remember like it got to a point where I'd come to work and I'll tell even my friends, the chicks and whatever, I'm like, today is not that day. Like, don't joke with me, don't whatever, and I'll just go sit, put on my headphones, listen to my music or whatever, because I know, like, anything, like I could just snap at any moment. Yeah. And it's something I also had to teach my nieces and whatever, you get. Because even when they're feeling low, I had to tell them, like, if you're feeling low because of your periods or whatever, just say I'm feeling low, or today is one of the... Because now you don't know what to do, like what's wrong with Sauda, what is happening, you get. But then I also learned, like, just speak. You don't have to say exactly what it is, but then it's like, today is just, please, today...
Does it affect you guys the same way? Like, do you get irritated?
Mood swings.
I tend, my voice tends to
break.
Higher side.
Yeah. On my higher side. So, like, I don't even like when I'm in the house and I'm on my periods and like my brothers talk to me, nitajibu na sauti kubwa, and they're like, where are you? I mean that statement, it gets to me, like,
because
like it's something that's normal and it happens every time.
Yeah,
it's like when my mom tells me, wacha kutembea hivyo, watu watajua, nataka sasa kuambia kila mtu unaonyesha, and it's something you can't control, because the intensity of how our cramps hurt us, it's different for every female. And for others, it's bad, and for others, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But people, I don't think the society, but they have not understood like how it affects us.
And then I think it's the fact that it affects everyone differently. And I'll speak I'll speak about myself, especially as a person living with disability, is the fact that even when pads are made, no one ever involves someone with disability. Yeah. Like, even when it comes to family planning or stuff like that, no one really talks to us about it. You get? I can't wear a pad because I'm always moving. Imagine someone in a wheelchair is 24/7 seated in that wheelchair. How uncomfortable is that? Yeah. You get? Yeah. So for me, I had to learn how to use the tampons. The hygiene behind it. Yeah. You get? You just create a pad. You don't involve... Like, there are times I would watch when different organizations are talking about, you know, guys who create pads, always or whatever, all those guys, have these seminars or whatever they call it, where they're talking about their pads. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't see anyone with disability being represented.
That's true.
It doesn't mean because we are all women, we are all the same.
Yeah.
You get? So it would be nice to see even people with disability being involved in it.
Yeah.
You get? Even the reproduction, like, I mean, when it comes to giving birth or whatever, I know I have to go through a C-section. You get? But that's because my gyna told me about it.
Yeah.
You get? Like, it's not something like someone would ever involve us in it. It's not like when they're calling you, they also talk to us. For us, we are being told, just have kids. Or, why would you have kids? You get? Like, why?
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
So for me, I wish we were involved more, like, at least to know. Because if it's hard on you, you can imagine how hard it is for someone with, with disability.
And you know, also, last week I met a lady who was selling menstrual cups. So they're like rubbery. And she was explaining to a group of other ladies how to use them and, the whole thing. Then she got a phone call, so she had to go receive the phone call. So these girls were like, I would have used this. No. So I was like, okay, you should have waited for her to come and given her
that feedback.
That feedback.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people don't usually have open conversations.
Yeah.
It can be women when they're together. It can be both men and women. So if guys actually had an open conversation about using pads, using the cups, using the tampons.
Yeah.
And everybody gives the experience, it would really help, But also, like, kuna problem hadi kwa ground, Because there's so much people need to unlearn.
Yeah.
Yes. Very true.
Because as much as we usually have a World Menstrual Day, I think we talk about the wrong things. And we don't talk about the things that need to be talked about and be exposed.
That's true.
Because now, if I was to talk about now, I mean, disability and whatever, then what? You get? Would you change your pads? Would you involve us in the making?
Maybe
of those
I think
pads?
it's just trying to try and understand and sit down with people with disability and trying to see what's the challenge that you go through, because like you said, it's wrong to assume that you and I have the same,
because we are women.
We will treat it the same way, but you're handling it differently than I am. You see? That's
have you ever
true.
tried the cup?
Nope.
Wait,
Honey,
don't know.
Honey, I'm sorry. I respect those who get to use the cup, but I don't think it's something that personally I really want to try.
Yeah,
I haven't. I know we've had this discussion in another WhatsApp
in our WhatsApp, we're like trying to figure
out how to use it. What's the experience like? Have you used it?
No, me even for the tampon for me, it was just, I don't know. I was tripping, I think. Because nilikuwa nafikiri itakwama ndani.
Yeah.
It's insecurities in the mind. So I try the cup.
My sister who is in the US introduced me to some other tampons. Oh my God, like, woo.
What?
That amazing. Like they're amazing. No, like
you have this thing you press and then it's like coming out. It's notifying you. Tampon.
You gotta change.
Imagine if we had such technology. 2047.
I know. But once I started using those ones, my life has totally. I'm like, I need to get more. Like every time anyone is coming from I'm just like, please, this is all I need. You can get me other gifts, but this I need to stock like this, whatever. But for me, tampons
perfectly
work perfectly for me.
The
fidgeting around for me, because I'm also it's dirty. When I think of pad, I just it's a lot of work.
Okay. Any closing shots, parting shots?
For me, tampons work the best.
That's your parting shot.
Yeah. These pads, not pads, tampons.
That's your parting shot.
Yes. No.
It needs to be something encouraging.
I know. No, I think we should be able to discuss it openly.
Yeah, that's true.
It should be something that we shouldn't be embarrassed about. and speaking as a person with disability, like involve us as well, you know, so that we are also in this and we also feel like, you know, we are part of this whole health thing going on.
You just reminded me about Janet Mbogwa's book, My First Time. I had that book. It was a gift from Kendi, my friend, and I gave it to my niece. Yeah, and I think I've really been involved with her womanhood so much. Her first time, it's like, did mom tell you this? I think I was more excited than her mother, and I'm too involved than her mother. Yeah, so but she goes to her mother, who tells her everything that she needs to know, but I'm there chipping. No. Don't try these pads, try these ones. These ones have this ones have this ones have that, you know. Yeah. I think it's a conversation we all need to have. Yeah. And I don't know. I'm still interested in finding a single dad who can really tell us their experience and how it is that they handle such things with their daughters and all. Yeah, because you can imagine I'm having trouble. I've had trouble having a sex talk with my sons, so I can imagine how it is with them.
I think you can get a male figure.
Yeah.
Because that's how my mom used to deal with us. It's like my bro will always have a male figure. Of course, she'll say a couple of things in a woman's perspective. Yeah. But then there's also that male-to-male conversation that they had.
I have something to say about that.
Yes.
So I was given my sex talk by my mom.
Really?
Yeah. Because my dad was like this dad, like very...
structured and straightforward.
What? And I really like that my mom gave me the sex talk from her perspective, from a woman's perspective. Yeah. Because as much as she was telling me about my own, about my sexual whatever. Yes. Escapades or whatever, she was involving also like, but also remember when a lady
calling
tells
it an awakening.
So like, if a girl is like this, or if a girl is blah, blah, and a girl tells you this, blah, so she told me in terms of girl, boy. And I feel like when if I got it from my dad, because I think I got it later on. So when I got it from my dad, it was only from a man's perspective and about the man. Yeah. So like for you, I'd encourage you, just get the courage, break the norm.
I will.
Talk to your son, because there's some things he'll hear from you that he won't hear from a man.
Yeah. I tried it once. Yeah. He cried.
let me
to end the conversation. I was 15, because 16. I saw something somewhere, something that he had, these games that they play. So I saw him commenting on something in the phone, because that time, of course, I used to have the phone. I'm using the same phone, so I saw a text or a chat that he had written. Then I asked him, "How did you know about these things?" It's like a friend of his in the estate is the one who told him about it. And I'm like, okay, I think it's time I had a conversation with him. So I realized he's too young for it, because when I talked to him that time, alikuwa nafikiria namtetesha. Unaona? Yeah, so he started crying.
I think like
I felt so hurt mpaka nikaenda nikamwambia. I also started crying. Sasa sitakuwa na conversation na wewe.
How old is he?
Now he's 13. Now we can have the discussion now. Yes.
I remember like I said, my mom would either make us watch something or read something, like to and then later we'd discuss it. You get? Because my first sex talk, I was in class 4, and the reason that happened was because we were getting a houseboy. Like my mom had wanted to stop getting house girls, so we had a shamba boy. Now she wanted also a houseboy. So now that whole sex conversation now came in, and I remember for her, first of all, there were rules. Like that he would come into the house at 8 sharp and had to finish work by 5 p.m. And then there was the whole rule of, because we each had our own room, my mom was like, first of all, privacy was the most important thing. Like, if I was caught in my sister's room, without my sister being there, I'd be grounded. Like, what am I doing in her room? Like, that's her private space. So even my mom coming into my room when I'm in my room is a problem. So it was that whole knock the door, like, kumeka zile na, please knock, wait for us. You what?
Yes, try that in a Kikuyu home.
She just walks in as if it's a kitchen.
Me, I also do that to my sons.
So my mom was like, once the door is knocked, you always ask, like, who is it? And then you hear it's him. If you're on the bed, if you're wherever you are, get up, go to the door, open the door, walk out before he walks in.
What?
Yes. Because you see, if he walks in, you're in that space.
Yeah.
Together. So anything can happen. Right? So you walk out before
Get a houseboy.
you get.
Yeah.
So we were never allowed to play at the back because that's where the quarters were.
Yeah.
So we had to play at the front where my mom could see us. You know, as a kid, you don't really notice. You don't even understand why this is happening until you get much older.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom saying, if they tell you anything, or they touch you in this way, or they say this to you, I don't care how they threaten you. Because they're going to threaten you. They'll say they'll do something to me or to you or whatever. And she was like, I'm your mother. No one can do anything to me. So you come and tell me. You get? Yeah. And I had so many... and up to today, if my mom never had that conversation with me, I don't know what would have happened. You get? Because I was told so many things as a young kid by the workers and whatever. But you see, also my brother was aware of it.
Yeah.
You get? So even if we were really left at home, but then if we're ever left at home, we'd sit at the veranda and our neighbor would be told like, oh, Sauda is at home and she's sitting at the veranda, please keep watch over her.
Yeah.
Or we'd play at the very front near the gate, like where everyone can see you. So even my brother was aware. So if anything happened, my bro was the first one that I would tell. I really didn't have to. I never got to the point where I told my mom because I knew my brother is there. You get? So it was easier, like, for my mom to... Like, when my bro knew these things because someone else had talked to him about it, as well as my mom. So he was also very aware of now my sister and I. Like, he had to really, like, understand us as women.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just reminded me something. You know these things that you don't remember at all when you're kids and then later on when you're an adult, kwa sababu umezificha huko nyuma, try to just forget about those things. There was this guy, my parents, I think, I don't know if it's a family friend.
Everyone is a cousin or an uncle.
To my parent or something. I don't know. But he used to have a shop in Shags near, just within the town at home. Yeah. And I used to really like him a lot. So I was young, I can't remember the age, but something funny. I have a very photographic memory, and I remember a lot of things that happened when I was young. Yeah. So he used to come with a lot of music and videos and all that, CDs, and used to have quite a lot that my parents didn't have at that time in terms of entertainment. So I used to call him Uncle Dombolo. Because he used to Uncle Dombolo. I know.
And then Dombolo was the devil's work.
Kofi Olomide. It was a year for Kofi Olomide Loa. That time.
I never knew.
That time.
Domboloya solo.
Yeah, Domboloya solo, yes. So he used to have that album. And one day went to his shop and then I'm just hanging out there. Of course, I'm young and I like to sweetie, nini.
Yeah.
Then while I'm just chilling with him, because my parents, I don't know where they had gone. So my mom or my dad dropped me off. Then they went. Then I was left there waiting. Then for some reason, my breast had just started protruding.
Okay, alafu it's one. And then the other is just flat.
Iyo ni yako, siyo yangu. I had...
It's so painful.
That time ndo unaona zinaanza kufura.
Yeah.
So, this guy for some reason, I think, when you're that small, of course, you uvalishwi kitu. So you have even the katisha, the katop, but then you can see that this girl is growing, So akanza
chuna.
That uncle.
Yeah, that uncle wa Dombo. He was Domboloing.
Yeah.
It's like, let me laugh because it's my experience. I mean, I don't want a sad experience. A sad thought. Yeah, it is like Anani Dombolo. Yeah, solo. So I went for some. I remember it was uncomfortable. That's all I remember. But I can't remember anything else after that.
Oh, so you must have blocked it probably.
Exactly, yeah. But I went and told my mom. Then I have never seen that guy ever since. I have never seen him ever since. I never saw him again. Yeah, but budangu alikuwa scary, man.
Talk to your dad.
Of course, she told my dad. Yeah. Of course. But my mom was also her own tough person. Yeah, my mom could chapa you. It didn't give you a raman or not. Yeah, so I never saw him at that time. So yeah, it just reminded me after your story of taking care of yourself and seeing your environment as especially when you're growing. And that time I wasn't even having my periods then. Yeah.
I hadn't even started my period then. But then, like, as you get older, it sort of escalates what the men say to you or but it's just, I think because my mom had talked to me about it, I was very, very aware. But then you see even the way I'll respond to them.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be like, I remember one of them told me, if I don't do it now, if I don't have sex at a young age, the day I will do it, I'll bleed a lot and it's painful. So I remember me and my little child mind, I'm like, si bwanangu, he'll take care of me and he'll wash me and I don't know what. Like you're thinking as a child, And then I was like, and I'll go tell my mom. That's how I would always deal with it. You get. But then it will always, there's one told me like, I'll knock the door at what time you open the door for me. And then I remember not opening the door. Me, I was dead asleep. What are you telling a kid that I'll knock your window and then you open the door? In the morning, I remember he gave me some serious silent treatment. Like he wasn't talking to me. He's like, yeah, I told you to open the door and you refused. I'm like, why would I open the door? Like, what? You get?
Yeah.
And I remember telling my bro, he did not talk to me for the longest time. Like, it was silent treatment.
Yeah.
Imagine. I was like, where? If my mom hadn't talked to me about it, I don't know, man. Like,
I guess that's why our parents, when you have girls, they're really careful and really, Grace alinunua gun, such things. They're so overprotective of girls. When they
I think
young.
you need to talk, keep having conversation. Yeah, because we're always so like it's a bad thing. Sex is bad. This, but you're not saying what goes around it or what would happen or what. You get, you just keep saying it's a bad thing.
Yes.
But have a whole conversation.
I think that's a whole discussion of talking to your children about sex and technically talking to your children about sex. And the first time they actually had sex. If you knew, if you didn't know, and if they were young, like me, how my parents got to find out I'm having sex is I got an infection. That's how they knew it. It's like I had to go to hospital to get treated, and it's like the doctor is like, "Are you sexually active?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not." Are you sure? No, I'm not. It's like because it only happens if you're sexually active.
And your parents were in there?
My mom was there.
Whoa!
Yeah, my mom was there. And I was young and she had to take me to her doctor. And it was very uncomfortable. But she knew I was lying.
Yeah, it's like, I know.
Yeah, like I said, this is a whole topic. We've just talked about periods. Let's not go to something else, but I think it's a topic we'll discuss some other time. Yeah, so thank you so much for listening in. Thank you so much for watching, if you're watching. And just a reminder to do what?
To subscribe.
And to do what?
To like.
And what else?
Share.
And comment and give us your stories. Share is fine too. And comment, give us your stories. What do you think about the topics you're discussing? Do you think we are helping someone? Do you have any other topic you feel like you want to discuss? Tell us your story. We can start from that conversation there, right there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Until the next one. Ciao.
Bye.